Without further ado, I want to introduce the Talkback. Our star here, Madelyn Paquette, is the artistic director for this center at West Park. She is going to speak tonight with the star of Heathers, Christian Slater. Give a big welcome to them both. Is he here?
Here he is.
There we go. There you go. Welcome.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Is this okay? Hi.
So thank you all so much again for being here with us tonight. This was such a fantastic way to kick off 2026 at the Center at West Park. We're so grateful to you all for spending your Friday with us, even despite the rain and the cold. And Christian, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thrilled to be here.
We had a lot of really fantastic audience questions that I'm going to throw at you here, and we might do a few live ones at the end. So if I don't ask your question, we'll pass the mic around and get a few from our audience once I've asked a few.
I haven't seen the movie in like 20 years, so that was I was just sitting back there watching it and having my own little laugh as it was going on. It's a I don't know if it's right for a church. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh boy, but we could have watched Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but Heathers is, I'm very proud of it, and I think it's a pretty sick, twisted movie.
So, Christian, building a little bit off of what Rob was saying there, and also a question from Angie in the audience. Heathers is this film with incredible staying power. It's a film that, yes, my 16-year-old half-sister is also an incredible fan.
It's an off-Broadway musical, too.
It sure is, and I've got some questions about that for you, too. But did you know when you were filming it that it was going to be something special? Did you imagine you'd be here sitting at St. Paul and St. Andrew here in 2026 chatting about it?
No, I mean, you never know when you get involved with something, what the outcome is going to be. I mean, it was a crazy script. I was really excited about it. I remember going in for the auditions with Winona and falling in love with her while we were doing the scenes together. I remember playing a game of hide and seek with some of the other people in the movie, and somehow I always found myself next to Winona, just hiding in a dark corner somewhere. But that's, I guess, a little inside story. Maybe it's gross. I'm sorry.
No, she's so magnetic in that film.
She is.
Literally,
yeah.
I guess.
So in other words, I just had a crush, and I was, And it's funny that we were playing hide and seek. I think that's, I thought it was hilarious.
It's appropriate. Christian, Liz asks, you've spoken before about one inspiration for JD being Jack Nicholson. And so when you're creating an iconic character like this, or any character, I mean, you've done so much work in so many different mediums and genres. How do you go about that?
Let's see. Well, there was this movie that Jack Nicholson was in called Ironweed. And there was an opportunity for, they were looking for somebody to play a young Jack Nicholson. And, I went in there and did an audition and really felt like I had nailed it. I really felt like I did a very good job. And then they didn't hire me. And so then I think I sort of saw this movie and this script, and it was more built on resentment. I wanted to show these guys that I could do it, And then I found out just recently, actually, because I'm 56 years old now, and I was talking to my mother the other day and talking about that whole experience, and she said, no, they didn't not want to hire you. It's just the people that you were doing the Legend of Billie Jean with wouldn't let you out of the contract, So there you go, 45 years of resentment, and now I find that it wasn't the case at all.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Fill me in.
So you mentioned our Heathers musical production that's running off-Broadway right now, which I think we have some musical fans in the audience tonight, right? Yes. Have you seen the musical version?
Yeah, I saw it, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was weird. It's weird. It's just surreal to see somebody else up there playing you, and it's like an actor's nightmare. You want to jump up there. And they did call me and ask me if they offered me a part in it, and it was to play the dad who sings about his dead gay son. And I was like, well, I can't handle that. My ego. I mean, it's a hilarious character and a great
It goes
moment.
a little differently in the musical than in the film.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does. It does. But yeah, so that would have been funny.
Christian, speaking of that, I have a question from Heather that does, from Heather, of course, which I had to ask. Heather asks, if someone were to remake Heather's now, what do you think would be different about this story told in 2026 as opposed to late 80s? And she also asks, who would you cast to play JD? I know, it's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, Timothy Chalamet, maybe.
I could see
Most
it.
popular human on the planet right now. Well, I mean, this definitely, watching it again, it feels like a movie that was way ahead of its time, certainly in a lot of respects. I mean, dealing with the struggles of being a teenager and dealing with bullying and all the things that have become so much more, sadly, prevalent and part of our society. And yeah, I mean, Heather's really, I think, just shined a spotlight on a lot of that stuff. Mental disorders, just all of those aspects I thought were very intriguing just to see it again. But I think it would, it still does resonate today to a large degree. And it's sort of, at the time, I guess, was a bit of a warning sign as to things on the horizon, and things that were slowly creeping up in schools and in our society, and it's just it's gotten crazier and crazier.
Absolutely. Christian, do you have any advice? I think we have some young actors, young filmmakers in the audience tonight. Do you have any advice for anyone who's getting started in this today? I know, I'm giving you the hard-hitting questions.
No, this is hard-hitting. Let's see. It is a crazy business. It's fun. I love it. I still love it. Thrilled to be in it and get to do this job. But I guess I've learned to not take myself too seriously. Take the job seriously, but not myself too seriously. And I go to work. I try to have fun. God, what else? I don't know. Ask me something else, and maybe something else will come to my mind.
Well, I'm going to throw it to our audience to do some live audience questions. So one of my colleagues has a microphone here, but anyone in the audience have a question they want to ask here? I'll go right here, front row, because I can hand my mic for that one. Mike. So go ahead and say your name and your question.
Oh, it's Eva, and I saw you in Sideman on Broadway ages ago.
yeah.
Would you come back to Broadway or off-Broadway or do a play again?
Well, I did do a play recently, Curse of the Starving Class, Sam Shepard play, which was great. Great experience. It was Callista Flockhart and Cooper Hoffman, and I got to work with it. Well, in the play, you got to be in this business. You got to be prepared, I guess, for the unpredictable. Because in the play, there's this whole scene with a sheep, and it's supposed to be this cute little baby lamb, and I was excited about it. I was supposed to do this whole speech to the lamb, and I figured the audience would fall in love with me, this wonderful moment. And then they realized that you can't use baby animals anymore on stage. You have to use, like, fully grown animals now, because it's just, you have to protect the animals, which is great. So yeah, the scene ended up being with a 200-pound sheep, and there, he didn't care where he went to the bathroom. He didn't care what he did, and so yeah, there was some wild moments there, but it was great. It was great to be back on the stage. I loved it, and you just have to be able to adjust quickly and again, go with the flow, roll with it.
Thank you. Any other? I see one back there. Kat, can you hand the microphone over into the middle of the pew? Raise your hand high. Yes, right there.
Hello, my name is Basha. I'm just curious if you have any thoughts now or at the time when you were playing the character about the kind of, I guess, disconnect between the fact that a lot of people are very in love with JD. He's very charming, he's very handsome, but he's a terrible boyfriend, and he's not very aspirational for a romantic partner.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's clearly the worst. But yeah, I mean, there's that whole thing of being attracted to the bad boy and the dangerous boy and the, yeah, so, any daughters here in the audience, stay away from that kind of guy. It's funny, like you see the kids that are the, quote unquote nerds in the movie. I mean, those are the guys, like that guy in the movie is pretty much running the world now. And
The guy shooting milk out of his nose.
yes.
That's what we're looking for.
That's the guy.
All right, let's have time for a couple more audience questions. Anyone else? I saw one right over there. Kat, can you raise hand right high there for Kat? Perfect.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you. Part of my high school experience was quoting the taglines from Heather. Me and my girlfriends, we would just constantly say things like, "Oh, you couldn't accessorize for shit," and all those kind of things. Is there any particular quote from the movie, because there were so many great ones, that resonated with you, or that people would like shout at you on the street, or kind of stuck with you?
Well, I mean, greetings and salutations is definitely, such an unusual thing. I like, they seem to have an open door policy for assholes, though, don't they? I mean, that line I just thought was great, and everything that happens next was just so crazy. But it was, yeah. I mean, the whole thing, all those people. Of course, Kim Walker. She and I dated, before the movie, and moved out to Los Angeles together, and she was just one of the best people I have ever known. And it's weird to be here too. I grew up across the street at 530 West End Avenue, so this is, I know, it's crazy. And then I live, fairly close, Upper West Side here. So yeah, my life has come full circle in a wild, wild way, and it's just great. It's just great. I got 2 kids. I couldn't be here at the beginning because I was putting my son to bed. And then and my daughter was at her piano class. She's 6, and I couldn't leave because she had to go to the bathroom. So, there's just a lot of new family, exciting things to deal with in life, and I love it. I love it. It's great.
Christian, do you watch Heathers any differently as a parent?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a movie. I didn't show it. I have 2 other kids that are 27 and 24, and no, I never offered this movie up to them and was like, "Oh, let's watch it." That's fun. Yeah, and I probably wouldn't show it to my new. They discover it on their own. And again, somehow it's a bit more of a red alert, warning sign type of movie now, where before it was kind of cool, and this just seems so crazy, this would never happen. But now it's more of oh my God, yeah, it's extraordinarily insightful in a lot of ways.
All right, let me grab one more question from our audience here. Oh, perfect. I'll handle this one.
Hello. What was it like working with Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo?
Yes,
Maybe she thinks I'm,
you were.
who, what?
You were in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, you mean one of the animated
Yeah.
Scooby-Doos?
Yeah, what was it like?
Yeah, Jesus, I thought I was like Sarah Michelle Gellar's husband for a second. What's his name? Freddie Prinze Jr., of course. Yeah, I was like, wow. Jesus. That happened to me in therapy once. The therapist was like, well, come on, you're fine. Weren't you on the Partridge Family or something? I was like, no. It was lovely. No, I mean, seriously, it was a big honor to be part of Scooby-Doo. I mean, that was another, when I was across the street growing up, I mean, that was the ultimate, and then it was Vincent Price and those types of guys doing Scooby-Doo. I mean, this is ridiculous. but yeah, I was thrilled, and I got to sing, which was fun. Speaking of which, because I've had some time on my hands, that Dexter show, they said it was going to go for another season, and then they did that merger, and unfortunately, the studio guys were like, well, we need to save money somewhere, so Dexter Original Sin will not be back. But I know it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for me and my whole family. But on the silver lining of it is that I have started a band. Yeah, I know. I could come back here and perform.
Hear from Debbie about that one.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I'm not a great singer or anything like that, but it's been fun, and it's called Dad Bod. That's the name of the group. So, yeah, hopefully you're charmed by that. Yeah, so we're just trying to keep the expectations low, and then you'll be happily, hopefully happily surprised.
Well, audience members, thank you all. You were wonderful on the mic. You weren't too rambunctious, so I appreciate that. Christian, I have one more question for you.
Great.
My favorite Christian Slater acting role, of course, is as the voice of the CWP drone video, where we do the tour of the building.
Yeah,
of
I did
course. And so
I filled in for somebody, didn't I? Like somebody else
you
was
were
gonna
our
do
first.
it?
You were our first choice.
No. I swear, I think somebody else.
No. Definitely.
No.
Number
it was
one.
Matt Dillon, but he was out of town.
Which is very Matt Dillon.
You know what? I was fine. I have no ego. I was like, yeah. I want to do anything I can to save that church. I love that church.
I know.
Again, like this is my neighborhood, and that church is like part of the thumbprint of this whole area, and I looked up to that church. I'm very charmed by that old lady. I love her.
Well, you anticipated my question, which
sorry.
is what's the what got you involved here? I mean, you just spoke to that a little bit, and the importance of spaces like West Park for artists at the start of their careers and all stages of their careers.
I mean, I started my career in a church up on, I think, 110th Street. I did, the Christmas Carol there, and I was like 7 or 8. Side story, it was 1978, right? And we'd gotten these tickets for Superman, the movie, right? With Christopher Reeve and all that stuff. And I was I had the choice, well, my father actually was giving me the choice to either go to the premiere of the movie or do my show, right? So as a 7, 8-year-old kid, I was like, well, I want to go see the movie. So that's what I did. I went and saw the movie, and I learned a very important lesson. Another tip for other actors in the audience: show up no matter what. I mean, yes, I was very young, but still very important. There's a lot of people that are relying on you to show up and be there and be on time and do your job. So I learned a very important rule there to be very professional. Now, I just went off on a tangent, but it was still a great experience working in that church. When I was doing Curse of the Starving class, the priest that was there at the church came to see the show, which was kind of amazing. I mean, that was, 49 years ago or something. But, so having spaces like this, giving people an opportunity to, experiment and play around and find their heart and soul. I mean, the people that were that West Side Prez are just, what was it, Joseph Papp? And I mean...
Yeah, Joseph Papp and Riverside Shakespeare were some folks there doing incredible work.
Right,
so there have been artists through the whole history of the church. I read a lot about it in the lead up to these landmarks hearings that we've had this fall. It's been a home for the arts for a long time.
Yeah. So we definitely want to keep those types of places alive in the neighborhood. And, do we really need another condo? I mean, and growing up here, these are the places that I remember looking at and being so overwhelmed by and being like a little kid just going, wow, New York's got a lot of skyscrapers, but, this is history and this is real and it just has a lot more texture than the glass things that are going up now. I mean, this to me and West Side Prez just does say New York.
Well, Christian, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you, everyone, for being a part of this.